Thank you, everybody. I'm amazed how many of you are here. It's so good. I just want to have a moment and do my being at Wembley. I want to take a picture of you all. You don't want your picture taken. Do you want to look down or look away? I'll just do a quick one. Just humour me for a moment.
Before the lights
Maturity reaches peak.
Awesome. Right, thank you. Okay, so as you heard, I'm Mike Trebilcock. I work at Cornwall College, where I lead the information systems team, and I'm also involved with the curriculum side, and what gets taught. I also am a committee member on Software Cornwall, where I look at skills and I try and look at how we can help develop the skills in Cornwall and make sure that we've got the right skill set to enable the businesses to really succeed and grow. What I'm going to take you through today is basically the software development pipeline and how we take somebody from being in school all the way through to being a useful, employable software developer. And then what happens next as well. I've only got 30 minutes, so it's going to be a whistle-stop tour through how we develop software developers. But for you guys, this is really a call to action, and I need your help. So there'll be points where bits will be hopefully relevant to you, and you're here to hear about code clubs, and code clubs are a significant part of how we develop software developers. So what I'm going to talk through to begin with is just set a bit of context. And are any of you aware of Tech UK? Tech UK? Yeah, just one or two of you. Tech UK, a bit about Software Cornwall. How many of you know about Software Cornwall? Ah, that's good. Right. Software Cornwall, in November last year, published this paper here in collaboration with Cornwall College, which was about the Cornish software industry. And it highlighted the skills shortage that we've got in the county. And the fact that companies aren't able to grow, aren't able to take on work they want to take on because they can't find the employees within the county. And so it was a bit of a call to action to colleges and other training providers to sort it out. Earlier this year, Tech UK, who are a UK-wide organisation that represents the software industry, published their paper. And their paper said more or less the same things. And stats I'm going to show and bits I'm going to show are drawn from the combination of the two papers. So what Tech UK, there's a telling point in Tech UK's opening piece, which is this comment here, from the northeast. And for me, with Software Cornwall and coming from Cornwall, there's too much focus on here on the northeast of England. I'm determined to get more of Cornwall involved in future papers they do. But their whole point was we've got to do better than this. That's really indicative of any school you can go into, that there isn't that awareness of what a software career can be. Why is it important? This is why it's important. As I said, we want to grow our software industry. We want the companies to grow. You all want to work in successful companies. You may own them and be suffering from these problems. I saw a stat yesterday. So we've got £2 billion here losing in the UK economy. There was something about agriculture yesterday on BBC News, and they said the UK agriculture industry in the UK contributes 5.6 billion to the UK economy. Here we are in the digital sector, and we're losing 2 billion because we haven't got the skills. It made me question where they're getting these numbers from. But as a comparison, this is really significant and important for the UK, not just for us in this in our companies wanting to grow. Alongside this, though, is some other facts which have come out about what's happening to our graduates, and the fact that computer science graduates are the most unemployed. And this is a stat from HESA over the last few years from the research they do every year on where graduates go. So there's some sort of disconnect going. As an industry, we've got loads of gaps. We've got the capacity to take more people in. In fact, we're desperate for more people, and yet we're not employing people coming out of university. That's a different problem. I'm not going to go into the detail of that. I can give you a whole other talk on that. Well, but last year, those of you who were here last year, we did a session on design a degree, and really trying to understand what it is you need from universities to make their graduates employable. And the work that we did last year led directly to the degree that Cornwall College are now offering, which hopefully will give you graduates that are employable. It starts in 3 weeks, and we'll see what comes out the other side. Hopefully some employable graduates based on the feedback we gave us. That's really important and valuable. Thank you for that. So Tech UK, they came up with these 2 bits, and they've come up with an 11-point plan, which they put out there to go to government, so government recognise it and see that there's a part they've got to play, but also out to education establishments and out to businesses. And basically they're saying we're all in this together, we've got to sort this out. We can't just rely on government, we can't just rely on education, businesses, you need to do your part as well. I've highlighted 8 here because Software Cornwall, we're really actively working on these 8 parts, which Tech UK agree are what we should be doing to change. The ones in blue are the ones I'm going to touch on as we go through the talk. So here's my software development pipeline. I stood at the back earlier on. You're not going to be able to read it from back there. You're probably not going to be able to read it from the front row. There's some bits here. So what we've got over here at the beginning is our school children. Our school children go in and say, wiggle through our pipeline, come out at the end, and a software developer who's employable. And then once you're an employable software developer, you then become an advanced one somehow by going to some other pipeline. Really bad pipeline. See all these gaps? These are intentional. We are leaking all over the place. We're losing people as they go through this pipeline, and we need to fix that. So what happens as we go through this pipeline? Well, first of all, there's been a change to the curriculum, which you may not be aware of. Last year, the government changed what gets taught in primary schools. It used to be that they got taught how to use Microsoft Office, how to make a presentation, and that got scrapped out the window, and the new curriculum came in, and it's awesome. At age 5, they're now learning about algorithms. What is an algorithm? And they're learning how they can make an algorithm up. Nothing complicated. They're not using C++. They're using beatbox and just simple steps in understanding the flow and starting to understand computational thinking. But we've got a problem at this first step, and that is that our teachers in primary schools are brilliant, but they've now just had this dumped on them. You've got to teach this stuff. And there's a whole load of terminology in there, computational thinking, algorithms. They don't understand, they're frightened of it. And I've worked with a number of schools in Cornwall who, yeah, we're doing the new curriculum, we're there, and you go and talk to them, what are you actually doing? So, well, we haven't actually started, we've thought about it. And I know a number of schools who really aren't delivering the new curriculum yet. So the first point is we need to help them here. And there are 6 of us in Cornwall who've gone and done some training with Code Club, and I'll come on more Code Club in a minute. But there's a part of Code Club called Code Club Pro, and we've done a day-long training session where we've been shown the curriculum, and we've been shown how to teach teachers what the curriculum is, how to demystify it for them, break it down, make it so it's not scary, explain what these terms mean. And we can go into schools, we get schools together, we can teach them, teach the teachers, so that they can then go on and deliver really interesting sessions and really get children excited about it. Are any of you governors of schools here in Cornwall? Yeah? Parents, got kids here at school? Excellent. So I've left you all a leaflet on your chairs. Take that leaflet and give it to your school and say, get in touch with Code Club. They can help you with your curriculum. And eventually it'll filter through to me and the Code Club Pro trainers in the county, and we can engage with them and really help them with their curriculum. They're just a little bit lost at the moment, and not for any bad reasons, they're just lost, they've had it dumped on them. So Key Stage 1. Key Stage 1 is 5 to 7 years old. So Key Stage 1, they learn some basics, they start to learn the fundamentals of what it means to work with computers. We then come on to Key Stage 2, which is supposed to be this bit here, which you can't read. Key Stage 2 gets really interesting. Key Stage 2, they have to know about search engines. How does the search engine work? How many of you know how a search engine works and ranks things? And hands up. Look at that. They've got to know. Between ages 7 and 11, they're now learning how a search engine works. They're learning how the internet works. They've got to learn how to interact with the real world using a computer. And it's simple stuff. Turn an LED on and off. Get some input from a sensor and do something as a result of it. But we're teaching this now at that age. It's the same problem with our teachers, that this is even more difficult and more scary for them. There's loads of good material out there, but they just need to be shown how to do it. And in amongst all the other time, it's difficult. As we get to this stage, though, there's another problem, which is kids have to learn loads. The curriculum is huge, and they don't get enough time on computing to really explore it. They get introduced to it, they get taken through a few steps, but actually, the way we all learn is by being creative, by exploring, by experimenting. That's what we've been talking about the last couple of days in a number of the talks. And the kids need a bit of time to do that with computers in a safe environment. So where code clubs come in. Are any of you running a code club? One. I am too. Two of us. So code clubs are an after-school club for an hour a week where we have a IT professional, we have a software developer or somebody who is enthusiastic about computers. Could be a hobbyist, could be anybody who's got a little bit of interest and is a little bit excited about it. And they come and they volunteer for an hour. We then have a venue, which is usually a school, but it could be a library, could be your business premises, could be anywhere really. But a venue where they can go to. We then have Code Club projects. And this is the really great bit about Code Club. Code Club provide all the material you need. So these have been done by the school rather than Code Club. And they're just sheets of instructions that the kids follow through. And they'll go through and begin with the Scratch, and there's little blocks. Those who don't use Scratch, it's a visual programming language, which just makes it really simple. And they go through and they'll copy what the picture says, put their coding together. The possibility of Scratch endless. I almost think that all programs should be like Scratch. And what the kids do, they follow through the pictures and they get stuck. Because when you follow through the pictures, it doesn't all quite work. And the kids are really bad at reading. Not that they can't read, they just don't. They just go from picture to picture to picture. So me, there's leading the club. They put their hand up and they come and ask me for help. And I have to look through, work out what they've done, what's missing, and point them out. Have you read this bit? And perhaps read that and follow that through and do those instructions. And they do it and it works. And their faces beam as they realise they've just achieved something. And then for those that do really well, yeah, I know you won't be able to see this, but their extension activities, because some kids, they fly through this, and they get to the end, and there's now things to try. Try this out. How about this challenge? Can you make it do this now? Can you make it do this now? And really allow them to explore and push on and do more. And so, as a code club leader, I don't actually have to go in and think, what am I going to do with it this week? It's all there prepared for me, nice and easy. And these are fun things. This one here is a fruit machine that they make, and real spin, and they see if they can get it to match. And it does scores and all sorts of things like that. But what I also found though was that kids come in with their own ideas and say, can I try this out? And I had this great idea. We did something in class the other day. I reckon I could make an app that does this. And that's actually the exciting bit when they come and want to do that. And, oh my God, how on earth are you going to make Scratch do that? And you know what, for them it doesn't matter. They're just playing. And they'll probably find a way to make Scratch do it. I've learned so much from the children how to do it. And then we have our children. So code clubs are aimed at 9 to 11-year-olds. 9 to 11 because by that time they've got a bit more cognitive ability to pull things together and some of the complexity that's involved here. However, Code Club was put together before the curriculum changed. I suspect that the age might come down as the children become more aware of computing. But when you've got all that formula in place, you end up with a Code Club. So, rather than try and bore you anymore, and explain to you what a Code Club is, St. Ewan's School, where I run my Code Club, they're currently running one at the moment. And hopefully, this works, the magic of technology, and if the Wi-Fi holds up, you should be able to get a live link to them, and over to Lisa, who's running the Code Club in St. Ewan. So fingers crossed moment.
Hi, I'm Lisa Martin, a teaching assistant at St. Ewan's School, and I help out with Code Club. Mike, we could really do with your assistance here now to explain just what goes on.
I knew she was going to do this. Wait a minute, let me see if I can get over to St. Ewan and help out from there. Give me a second. Hi everybody, welcome to St. Ewan Code Club. Thank you, Lisa. Here we go, this is what a Code Club looks like. We haven't got a full house today, we've got 6 of them in today. But they're all busy working away with Raspberry Pis. trying to make traffic lights work. We're going to have a look at what they're doing in a minute. What they have been doing though is working in Scratch and learning how to program in Scratch, writing games. They've been writing websites using HTML and CSS, and they've also been learning Python. We've just moved on to Raspberry Pis, and this is really their first lesson where they've learned how to use GPIO and how to interact with the real world, having quite a bit of fun. If we go over, we'll have a look at what some of them are up to. Follow me. Okay, explain to me what you're doing today.
Well, you've got these traffic lights and the pedestrian crossing light.
Yeah.
And technically, you have to turn off the light. To make this light come on when that light is on, and that light, which is red, come on when that green light's on.
Okay.
But then, by pressing this button, it will make this light come on, this light come on, and then this green light there come on, so that doesn't happen.
Okay. Good.
So this one worked out.
Okay.
Let's try it.
You can do it.
No, do
One
it.
after the other like that.
No, it doesn't matter. Now green, and red. Wait, should we do it so there's like a real one where it's wait a few seconds? Oh no, I could be the mini man.
So tell me what you're going to do.
Basically, I'm going to try and make it so that it has so that it is red flashing amber green, and then it's going to go from green back to normal amber, back to red, and then have it so that it waits a few seconds before it goes back down again, so that it's like a real one.
Okay.
How many times do you want it to repeat?
Is that it? 2 seconds? Yeah. 5. Hello.
This is dim.
Red.
This is RC.
Flashing amber. We needed to wait for 2 seconds.
It's
Green,
resistance
and
R.
then yellow, and then red. Wait 2
So that
seconds.
seems to work. Seems to be working.
But we need to have the other pin off. Oh no, because it would stay red, wouldn't it, on the real one? Yeah, we do. Should we try with the real one?
Okay, your next task is to make the red and green LEDs work like a pedestrian crossing and tell them
We'll
it
be
say.
able to have it so that it goes, when that's red, that's green. When that's green, that's red.
That's right.
Yay!
So that's what you need to do next. Good work.
Yeah.
That's probably what came to you, Jack. Should we show the helicopter game? Yeah? Right, you're going to have to come back to the conference with me. You can do that?
Okay.
Right, let's go. The kids come back before me. They did say that the firewall was going to protect the kids, and they might not make it. Unfortunately, it's their second day back today, and so they couldn't come here. Okay, so there's a code club in action, and you see the excitement on their face when they get it right, and it's just such a rewarding experience as a leader, that club, just watching how excited they get and how satisfied they are. And there are times when it happens at work, and I have learned through Code Club that I've learned lots of lessons, in particularly about reward. And when I went to Code Club, I found it was really rewarding and really giving lots of feedback. But then when I watched how I acted with my team, I wasn't quite the same. I didn't know why am I being different with them? And I shouldn't be. So it's a valuable learning tool, I found, for myself, of being able to improve how I run the team, as well as helping the kids out. Okay, so the next bit is where you fit in. So this was snapshotted about a month ago, and there are 867 schools across the UK looking for volunteers. So for those of you that I know, whilst I'm talking about Cornwall here, and I want to see every primary school child in Cornwall have access to a Code Club, if you're from somewhere else, they're all over the country. Go to the Code Club website, have a look, register yourself as a volunteer. It's really easy, because we need you. We need you to help our kids. Right. So, back to our software development pipeline. So we've covered primary school, what we can do in primary school and how you can help out there. Once they finish at primary school, they'll go to secondary school and they'll do GCSEs. And GCSEs, computing GCSE did really well this year. It outperformed physics and maths and other STEM subjects in terms of pass rates. And the numbers taking computing GCSE have really gone up, which is great news. What schools need is a little bit of help here, though. In the year 9, the year before they actually start their GCSEs, they really need help with projects. And what can we do to make it realistic and engage people there? Because they have to make a decision about whether they're going to do their GCSE computing. And the more we can engage with them and explain to children, this is a great industry to be involved in, this is fun, exciting, we make stuff, we can make anything you like with software, once you know how to code. We need to get them engaged and do something there. So if you can get engaged with your secondary schools that are around you, as businesses, as individuals, and form a relationship where you can excite people and excite the students there, that's a really valuable time. Because that little gap there, we lose people there, and we don't want to. We want to make this pipeline as thick as possible all the way through. At secondary school, at Software Cornwall, we've been doing quite a bit of work to try and do that, inspire people. So I just want to show you 2 events that are happening. First one is next week. We've managed to bring Microsoft down to Cornwall, and they're running a global campaign at the moment called DigiGirls, where they bring Microsoft employees down, they do creative stuff with them, and try and inspire females into the sector. So we've got 10 primary schools next week turning up for a day with Microsoft, and it's just the girls get to go, and they show the girls that this is a great career for you to go into. So that's really exciting. We've managed to achieve that and get Microsoft into Cornwall. The next event is an Easter school. We ran an Easter school this Easter, and we called it Mission to Mars. I built some robots. I just managed to break this one on the way up by dropping it. This is Bert. We had 2. We had Bert and Ernie, and we had 22 children from age 14 to 18, and the aim was to show them what being a software developer is about, and show them that coding isn't about you being in your bedroom late at night writing stuff. That actually, if you want to be a software coder, it's about working in teams. It's about being a team player, and we showed them Agile techniques. We got them working with stories, we got them working with sprints, doing retrospectives over a week period. And they took the robots from a very basic thing of just making the robot move backwards and forwards, being able to do figures of 8s, use all the sensors on board so they didn't crash, so they could follow lights. And out of the 22 that attended, 4 have now gone on to software apprenticeships. Great. But everybody had a really good time. And thanks to a great location, Blue Fruit in Redruth, who gave us an awesome facility to run it in. I think we've inspired every one of those to probably pursue software more and really think of it as a serious career option. We're going to run another one of these in October, and we're hoping to make it, I never know whether it's biannual, to run 2 a year, one in Easter and one in October half term. If any of you are interested, I need another couple of volunteers to help out in October half term. It's going to be run either in Snostall or one hand at the back.
I'll help.
It's either going to be in Snostall or Liscard. I'm going to confirm this week which location we're going to go for. So if any of you there can help out, last week of October, then I'm open to offers. Okay, so we get on to our A-levels, and the key point I've got here is this boy-girl ratio. And obviously blue boys, pink girls, they're still good. We've got more work to do on getting females involved. I've mentioned about Microsoft coming down. We're trying to do what we can to encourage females into the sector. But it's an area that Software Cornwall are really looking into. How do we engage with girls and get them And finally, we come around to what happens. Oh no, not finally. Missed one out. So you don't have to go to A-levels. There's something which we, as Cornwall College, we've been setting up and running this year, software apprenticeships. And they're a really great way for people who don't want to follow the academic route and stay at college, but they want to get into work. There's lots of people like that. How many of you have got degrees and went in for getting a degree? And how many of you are software developers who don't have a degree? Okay, it's less. I was expecting a more 50-50 split. But for those who don't want a degree, apprenticeship is a great route to get into software development. You go and you work in a software company, and for a couple of days a week, you go and do formal training with a college and get to your technical skills and learn about all the things you need to know to be a software developer formally. And if any of you are interested in, could you have an apprentice in your business, we'd love more apprentices to be in Cornwall. So as we've left that age group, we come up to your degrees, and we've got some good provision in Cornwall now, some really good provision starting in September from Cornwall College, Trebilcock College, both running computing degrees. Falmouth here at this site, they're doing some amazing things with games and building their games provision and building a hub here for games. And Plymouth University at the top, who work with the colleges and also have a great offering. So what we're trying to do is say, you don't have to leave Cornwall to become a software developer. You can follow the whole route through and stay in Cornwall. The trouble is, once students leave Cornwall, it is difficult to bring them back. If we can keep people in Cornwall and give them what they need on their doorstep, it's a great place to be. Why would you want to leave? Then there's no need for them to go out of county. They can stay here and go on to get employment. And they managed to get all the way through the pipeline without avoiding all the leaks and the snakes and keep going up the ladders. We get over here to our software developer who is employable and hopefully can come to you and you can see that he's got all the right experience and skills and knowledge to come in at an entry level to your company. And we can get away from that stat that computer science graduates are the most unemployable graduates. We've then got our little pipeline here, and down in the Studio B, where your freshman side, I don't know if you've seen it, Cornwall College down there, and we've got a little board where we're asking you, what do you need to do next? How can we get you from this point where you graduated, you've been working a few years in the software industry, to this guy here in the matrix, and just understands, sees it all. How are we getting you to be advanced guys? How do we move your skills on? And we want to know, we want some feedback from you. So down in the Studio B, when you go for your break in a moment after the next session, if you've got ideas, put it on a post-it note of courses you'd like to do. And we'll look at running and putting them on. In the last 6 months, we've run an advanced JavaScript course with Software Cornwall and a C++ course to develop skills further. And we want to do more of those. We really want to help you grow your own skills. My final point, though, is it's up to us, up to you guys. This isn't going to get better unless we do it better. So I need your help. If you're thinking, yeah, I'm quite interested in that, do it. Go to Code Club, register as a volunteer. Get in touch with me. Get in touch with me there. Code Club is something like Cornwall Award. And we can make things better. We can help these the skills in this county grow. That's it. Thank you very much.